What a special moment. Thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you for those 2 nights, splendid nights to be remembered. Thank you, Maestro. Thank you, Maestro. Thank you, Maestro.
Thank you, Maestro.
Yesterday night and tonight, I have had a feeling that you are so intertwined with your orchestra. It's one body, one soul. Is it also because you've been with them since your childhood and you've been playing in it and you know quite a lot of them personally?
Absolutely. It's a very special kind of relationship which I don't have with any other orchestra, and I think it's rare to have in general. It's the orchestra from your city. I was born, I was raised in Tel Aviv. I used to listen to the orchestra almost every week as a child. Then the older generation, even those who are not in the orchestra anymore, retired, they were my teachers. And then I met Zubin Mehta, who was like a mentor to me, was a huge inspiration for me as a conductor, as a young, aspiring conductor. And then there was a generation change in the orchestra, and the young members, those who are playing today, they're my generation. They studied with me in Israel. We grew up together. So it's, as we say, it's a big mishpuche. You know?
Yes.
It's a big family. We all know each other so well, and we trust each other. And it happens to be the orchestra with which I have the longest relationship, because I conducted them first time exactly 10 years ago, and before that I played with them as a soloist, double bass, etc., etc. So
I'll just translate, okay? Já jsem říkal, a určitě ten pocit mnozí z vás sdílíte, že jakoby, jak včera, tak dnes, jakoby maestro, dirigent byl prorostlý, srostlý s tím orchestrem, jsou jedna duše, jedno tělo. A ptal jsem se, jestli je to tím, že vlastně s nimi vyrůstal. On říká, ano, samozřejmě, to je ten důvod, protože oni jsou z města, kde já jsem se narodil, kde jsem vyrůstal, byl jsem jejich divákem dlouho, pak jsem se seznámil s maestrem Métou, který se stal mým mentorem, v orchestru jsem začal hrát, zprvu jako člen, jako sólista později, před 10 lety jsem je poprvé dirigoval. Mezitím se vyměnila generace, takže ti starší už odešli a dneska v orchestru jsou ti, se kterými jsem studoval. Takže ten vztah je opravdu jedinečný. And also you've been together during the COVID period on a human scale, right?
This was a very important time for us, and I think a crucial time generally for every human being on the planet. But for orchestras, it was difficult because most orchestras couldn't even play at all, and those who could play were reduced to a very small amount of people, and with social distancing. And for musicians, of course, we make music together. So if I stand next to someone, it's easy to play together. If they go a bit further away, it's still possible. But once you have to play with someone very far away from you, it's just the sound travels in time. And by the time the sound comes to you, it's too late. It's very difficult to play together. So it was a very tricky time for us. But we overcame it together.
A já jsem ještě se zmínil o tom, že lidsky je zblížil covid. Ano, on říká, byla to nesmírně těžká doba pro všechny na celém světě, pro muzikanty obzvlášť, ale nám to umožnilo na lidské rovině se víc seznámit, víc pracovat i odděleně, protože jsme nemohli být všichni v jednom velkém celku. Takže vlastně to byla klíčová perioda, klíčové období pro nás. I mentioned COVID because the two of you were here at this festival exactly 4 years ago. And no one knew at that time that something like COVID would come. How did you spend the time? I know about you, Maestro, that you recorded a fantastic album, Cello Unlimited. Would you please elaborate a little bit? I just translate, okay? Já jsem navázal na ten covid tím, že tito dva mistři tady byli na Dvořákovce půl roku před covidem, ani ne, nikdo netušil, co bude. Jak tu dobu strávili a vím, že maestro Kian Soltani udělal jedno úžasné album.
Yeah, so suddenly March 2020, my concert was supposed to happen. I still played the general rehearsal in the morning.
Really?
And then the concert was cancelled the same day.
Where was it? Which country?
Belgrade, Serbia.
Belgrade, Serbia.
Yes.
Aha.
Great country, by the way. And so
And great Djokovic, right?
Djokovic is the best. 24 Grand Slams, everybody. Yeah, yesterday he won. He won U.S. Open yesterday. For those who missed it,
Right.
So, and then anyway, I quarantined in Vienna, and I was stuck there. Suddenly, no concerts, and nobody knew for how long. But it turned out to be basically no real concert routine. Was almost a year of like. Of course, there was some here and there, but real. Kind of normality was almost a year. So I started doing arrangements at home for basically cello orchestra. Yeah, so the album is called Cello Unlimited because the idea was it can be as many cellists as I want. It's unlimited amount. I don't want to say I'm going to write for 8 cellos or for 10 or 20. Simply unlimited. Whatever I needed for each track, I just did. So if it's 40 cellos or 50, which sometimes happen, I would just do that. So the way I worked was I would start to record one cello at home with microphones, and then I would add a second cello and a third like this, and like this I would build sometimes 40 to 50 tracks on top of each other. And this I did with 1 hour of music. And once I did all of that, then we wrote everything into paper, me and with the help of a scoring assistant. And then I went to Berlin and redid the whole process one more time, everything again, all 30 to 50 voices, because I wanted better microphones, better sound, better mixing and everything on. So this whole process basically took 1 year. 1 year of my life I spent on this album.
And the repertoire, it's film blockbusters, right?
Only film music, which I grew up with, movies that I saw in the cinema and that really touched me, both the movie and the music. So we're talking Lord of the Rings, of course.
Lord of the Rings,
yes,
and
Howard Shore, Hans
Pirates
Zimmer,
from the
exactly. So all the 90s and 2000 movies which I grew up with. So this was 1 year of work, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. And so I tried to use the time somehow. Right. It's difficult for me not to do something. It's a bit of a problem.
Já se budu navždycky pamatovat ten první den covidu. Byl jsem v Bělehradu, ještě jsme absolvovali zkoušku a večer už nebylo nic. Vrátil jsem se do Vídně, byl to zvláštní pocit, zvláštní svět a já jsem najednou měl čas něco vymyslet a něco dělat jiného. A tak jsem začal pracovat na tom albu, které já jsem předtím zmínil, Cello Unlimited. Ten název je typický, protože vlastně jsem si dopředu nedal žádný limitovaný počet violončel, které mohou postupně být nahrány a na té desce být. Takže jsem začal normálně nahrávat doma, jednu vrstvu za druhou, potom jsme to s asistentem nechali, nebo přepsali jsme to do partitury, letěl jsem s tím do Berlína, tam jsme to vylepšovali už technicky. No, byla to práce na rok, byla to úžasná práce a vzniklo tohle album a to chce, myslím, velký potlesk. Mimochodem, já vím, že tito dva pánové budou zítra večer hrát v Paříži. I know that you'll be in Paris tomorrow night at that time, so we won't take too much of your time, I promise. Já vím, že zítra budete v Paříži, jsem říkal, tak vás nebudem dlouho zdržovat. Na to maestro, já jsem na to málem zapomněl. What have you been doing recently? Not only in COVID period, but recently.
Oh, just plowing along, I suppose. But I was going to say, we all spoke to, Kian and myself and you.
Yes.
And a pianist, Gerhard Opitz. Didn't we have a conversation like
That's
this?
That's right, yes.
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 Yeah. So I guess that was the pre-COVID. The COVID year really, I must say, there were silver linings. It's a tragic time and many people suffered, but I personally got to stay at home with my family and my kids, and we were all together, for a year. They got completely sick of me, but I really enjoyed it. And, we did have some music, there were some pieces that we premiered on online music festivals and things like that. But I feel really I was very, very lucky with that period. And then somehow afterwards, many concerts came back, and I don't know how it is for for you guys, but suddenly that first year was very busy because everybody was so happy to be back that we tried to schedule everything, and now it's a little bit getting back to maybe the routine before.
Asi neřeknu nic nového, říká maestro Gil Shaham, když řeknu, že ten covid byl vlastně dvojznačný, protože ano, byla to hrozná doba, ale na druhé straně, já se přiznám, já jsem už dlouho nebyl tak dlouho doma. Bylo to úžasné, byl jsem s rodinou, s dětmi, já vím, měli mě plné zuby, to je jasné, ale užili jsme si to, nahrávali nebo dělali jsme nějakou muziku, která byla vysílána online, no a potom to přešlo a naopak se nakupili koncerty, říká, obrací se na kolegy, nevím jak vy, ale já jsem pak nesmírně mnoho hrál a tak jsme celý ten čas vlastně přečkali. Very, very shortly about Brahms, Symphony No. 1 and the double concerto. Symphony No. 1 is number 1. He had been working on it for years, and the double concerto is his last work for orchestra. Is there a difference in between the two compositions, between two Brahms, or was he the same all the time?
Well, I feel that actually in the first symphony there is a lot of struggle somehow with life. Maybe it's related to the fact that it took him such a long time to actually write the piece and to gather the courage to put it on paper. He knew that he's always compared to Beethoven. People were expecting him to write music like Beethoven's, and it was called also Beethoven's 10th Symphony when it came out. And it's very Beethovenian in the sense that it starts with this struggle and drama and darkness and goes into the light and euphoria and victory at the end. And there is something in the late Brahms generally that is a little bit more reflective, I feel, sometimes a bit lighter even, enjoying life, just relax. We know his pictures with a big belly sitting on the piano like this. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of a caricature, but there is this sense of just letting go and enjoy.
Zazněly tady dvě skladby. První symfonie je proto první, že se s ní dlouho mořil a naopak to, co jsme slyšeli v první polovině, ten dvojkoncert je jeho poslední orchestrální dílo. A tak jsem se ptal, jestli je značný rozdíl mezi Brahmsem tehdy a potom. A maestro Lahav Shani říká, ano, rozdíl tam je, protože v té první symfonii já slyším zápas, drama, boj. Ne nadarmo se tomu říká 10. Beethovenova symfonie. Je to velmi beethovenské, je tam takové to napřed to drama, pak to světlo a nakonec to vítězství ke konci. Zatímco Brahms v tom dvojkoncertu, to už je prostě uvolněný člověk, tak jako jsou ty dobové kresby, možná karikatury, jak sedí s tím bříškem u piana. Takže je tam vidět určitá taková pohoda a zrání a v tom je, myslím, ten rozdíl. In one of your interviews I saw on the TV, you said many years ago that to start with, making music you don't understand as a profession, but it's the way of life. And secondly, you call yourself just a musician, not a classical musician, because you don't like to live in a box. Is this still true?
Yes, I think.
That's what you said. I'll be your spokesperson, okay? Jenom dávník rozhovoru říká jednak, že nebere hudbu jako svoji profesi, ale jako způsob života a taky na druhé straně nebo zároveň, že teda se nazývá pouze hudebníkem, ne klasickým hudebníkem. Nechce být zaškatulkován. Tak jestli to platí pořád, odpověď s úklonem byla ano. Gentlemen, we really appreciate that you've been with us tonight. Enjoy your time, enjoy the rest of the year. I know that on the 1st of November you'll be playing with the Czech Filharmonie and Semyon Bychkov, yes. the Dvořák violin concerto in the Suntory Hall, right?
Very excited, yeah, very much looking forward, very excited about it, yes.
1. listopadu bude Gil Shaham hrát s Českou filharmonií a to chce skoro fakt potlesk. Bude hrát Dvořákův koncert v Suntory Hall v Japonsku. Enjoy your concert in Paris tomorrow night. What a demanding program.
Thank you.
Užijte si zítra koncert v Paříži and you enjoy your concert the day after tomorrow in Zurich. right?
Yes.
Tak vidíte, všecko klape, pozítří v Curychu. Gentlemen, all the best to you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
And shalom.